Here we have the Kenwood Kmix coffee machine, this one I've had just over a year, and it has a common problem which I know a lot of you have experienced. It is leaking from the bottom. So I'm going to open it up and take a look and see what we need to do about it. So I was stumped at the first hurdle. This is the screw that holds the Kmix together. What the hell is that? As you can see, it's like a star shape and it's got a raised dot in the middle. So I can tell you that this is a tamper-proof screw, and in order to take them out you need Torx, T-O-R-X screwdrivers, but make sure you get the tamper-proof ones. These are tamper-proof screws that are designed so that you can't take these apparatus apart. So first of all, order yourself some Torx screwdrivers, tamper-proof. These ones are about size 9 or 10. Once you've got those, you'll then find it really easy to take this coffee machine apart. So open the lid of your coffee machine and you will see 2 screws, and they are on either side. So just start with one side. Take these 2 tamper-proof screws out. Okay, once you've removed the screws, you're going to need to close the lid and turn it upside down. This is what you'll find underneath, and you're going to need to remove these 4 screws. And now these are the same screws as the top. They're the Torx screws, tamper-proof screws. However, if like me, you have ordered small screwdriver set, it won't fit these. These are probably about a T12 or 14. However, what I've found is if you use a flathead screwdriver, that does fit in and undo them. So take all 4 of them off. Once you've removed the 4 screws, gently just pull away the sides a small bit. This one won't move as much because we haven't opened the top screws. Now use your screwdriver just to very gently prise up the bottom and then just loosen that off. Don't force it because it's still attached at the back, but it just releases the sides for you to pull out on the hinge. Okay, by releasing the bottom, we've managed to pull the side out. It's just on a hinge, so you can pull it out to give you enough space to look inside. And as you can see, actually, it's not that complicated and most things are replaceable. Now, in here, if you can see this spring, it's plastic and it's just attached. I've just loosened it, but it's actually attached onto this pipe. And I've taken it off. This has totally broken. I just think where it's been used for a year. And up here, you can't really see it that well, but there's a gap where it's attached to the pipe up there, and that's where the water's coming out of. Now the pipe and plastic is attached by one of these like Jubilee type clips, and it's quite fiddly to release it, but all I've done is I've squeezed it together, which allows you to move it, and I've moved it up the pipe, which has allowed me then to pull the pipe off of there. And I'm just going to do exactly the same for the top. The top's a bit more fiddly, as you can see. It's got the wires there, but it is attached in here with the same clip. Right, I've managed to release it. This is a clip that I've taken off, and you can see that it's just come apart. This is where it was split in there, and it's come off of here, and it's still attached to the metal pipe up here. So I'm just going to use a screwdriver and just prise this off, ready for the new one. Now, I often find with my women's hands it's extremely frustrating when I do DIY jobs because they're not strong enough and they're not big enough. However, this is not the case. My small hands helped in this job. What I did do is I undid the 2 screws at the top, and I also hinged out the other side. It was a bit easier to get rid of the glue. So I've taken the glue off from this pipe here. I don't know actually whether this was glued or whether it's just melted onto it due to the heat. But make sure you remove all the remnants of it from here, ready to put your new pipe on. Also, what I did, just because I think that probably if this one's gone, then the one on the other side's gone, you'll see that there's a smaller one here, which I've also replaced. I haven't put the Jubilee clips on quite yet. I just want to slide them both on and try it before I Jubilee clip them back up. So it's probably worth it if you're going to all this hassle taking it all apart. These do not cost much. They are £2.50 on the internet, one each. So order them both at the same time. Postage is the same for each of them. And I also ordered some new clips. These are Kenwood parts, and you might as well replace both of them. Otherwise the other one will go soon and you'll have to do it all over again. So here's my new part. Just remember that the spring that's close together goes on the bottom like that. It's a bit fiddly, but you need to probably put some pressure on it. We'll try it in a minute, but what I want to do is add my Jubilee clips first, so they're up there and ready to slide down when we fix them. Do exactly the same as I'm doing here with the other pipe, which you might be able to see better from this side, is here. You see, it's exactly the same, it just fits on either end. Make sure you get that one, the right one out. When you take them off, make sure you remember which way up they go. Now with these Jubilee clips, squeeze them together to loosen them, pop them on, go into the middle. Should slide on nice and easily and ready for you to fit your part. Probably go one each end to make it easier when you're fiddling around in that tight space. So that was easier than expected. Just slid on. Remember, you've got your spring where it's closer together on the bottom. You've got your Jubilee clips in the middle, ready to loosen and actually fasten them to either end. Before you put your Jubilee clips in, please test it, because they're quite awkward to get on and off. So test it first. If it's all working, then these are quite easy to pop on and off. Just try that first. So I've turned it back up the right way round, and I'm going to pour some water in it. Make sure it doesn't leak through there. As you can see, nothing. Don't forget to do that before you put your Jubilee clips on. Well, exactly the same as when you put them on, when they were off the machine. Squeeze them together, slide it down until you can get it over the pipe that you want to attach it to. Right, so I tested it, ran some water through it, no water leaked, so I've popped my Jubilee clips on. Now this is where your patience, ladies, will really be an asset to you. It is quite awkward in this small space to get these Jubilee clips down to the bottom so that they're actually on the pipe, not just on the plastic. But please bear with it, because that's what's going to hold them in place for a good amount of time. So now it's tested. By the way, when you test it and put your water in it, do not plug it in. Now I'm going to put my Jubilee clips on my smaller part. So I've just slid them on there. You will notice that I think it's a valve in there. Make sure you get it the right way up. So where you can see that square in there, that goes at the bottom, and I've got my machine upside down. Okay, so now you need to slip the plastic tube on either end, and then you've got the awkward moment of tightening up your Jubilee clips. Phew! All done. Right, so both the pipes are there. You can see the one behind, this one here. I did actually find this one easier to secure it with the Jubilee clip first, and then use a flathead Phillips screwdriver to just prise this part of the plastic pipe back onto the pipe, and then it was easy to clip the Jubilee clip on the bottom. So now, before I put it all back together, I'm just going to gently turn it upside down and have a last test without it plugged in before I put it back together. So the test was all good, no leaking, and I've just, they're loose at the minute, I've just put these back together. Make sure there's some plastic like clips in here. Make sure that they're tucked under the black, and just gently put them together. And then you've got your 4 screws that you're just going to pop in. 1, 2, 3, 4 with your Phillips flathead, unless you have a tamper-proof Torx screwdriver that's big enough. It's probably, I would guess, a 12 or 14. I'm going to use the flathead. Okay, once you've done your, you've tightened your bottom screws, the 4 at the bottom, turn your machine back up the right way, and then replace your tamper-proof screws on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's a T10, the screwdriver size that you need. Tamper-proof Torx screwdriver T10. So we're all back together, all the screws in. Let's give it a go. The smell of coffee. No leaks and no man in sight. Good luck, ladies. Cheers.